crops won't grow. They stand in lines where the livestock go. Turbines spinning, mining drills, taking our land without our will. No regard for the common hand. Labor's marching on our land, under cover of their green crusade, but we see through the games they play. To lines, mines and turbines we say no. Ban land access, let the farmers grow. The whole damn state is in a rage, our rights erased on every page. Scrap the law, scrap the lie, it's labor's hoax, we won't comply. They preach the end, they sell the fear, but the only thing they tax is near. Every drop of sweat we shed feeds their pockets, lines their beds. Victorians rise, the time is now. We'll fight back, we won't bow. This isn't green, it's their power and need, and we are done watching their greed. To lines, mines and turbines we say no. Ban land access, let the farmers grow. The whole damn state is in a rage, our rights erased on every page. Scrap the law, scrap the lie, it's labor's hoax, we won't comply. They don't speak for the working hands, they steal the soil, they steal the lands. No more lies, no more scams, stand with the people, not labor's plans. They take the vote, then shut the gate, push fake agendas while families break. Rural towns left high and dry, while bureaucrats sit smug and lie. To lines, mines and turbines we say no. Ban land access, let the farmers grow. The people's fire has been lit, we won't back down, we won't submit. Scrap the law, scrap the lie, we'll fight for truth till labor dies. They never asked, they never cared, just sent the bills while we despaired. But from the scrub, people roar, won't be slaves to labor no more. They silence voices, twist the facts, push through laws behind our backs. The fight is fierce, the truth is clear, you won't erase our voices here. To lines, mines and turbines we say no. You can't take what you didn't sow. The bush is roaring, hearts ablaze, we won't be ruled by labor's haze. Scrap the law and the spin, let real Victorians rise again. This is our home, our fight, our stand, you'll never take the farmer's land.
Just love that track. That's John Houston. Houston, we don't have a problem with your voice. Actually, it's not him, it's AI, but he wrote it. But we do have a problem with the Victorian government, don't we, if you're a farmer. So the song is called To Lines, Mines and Turbines we say no. If you're on the land, we say bugger off, just get out of our face. These turbines, so they've gone nuts, haven't they, the Australian government? whether they're state, local or national, gone nuts. Same with the UK. They want these turbines. Look at the ocean. Look at the outside the channel, outside of the coastline of the UK. They've got thousands of them. Just absolutely horrible. Supposedly saving the planet, but what it is doing is destroying the environment. It's just a terrible, terrible thing. And then throughout Victoria and other states too, New South Wales, they're wanting to put in these great, either big towers for the interconnector to carry the green energy, or to throw up these, they're like 260 metres tall, these wind turbines. And we're going to talk to a lady in a second from WA. And the WA government is pushing ahead to across along the Western Australian coastline. They're going to put up, hundreds, if not thousands, of these monstrosities. Can you imagine what it does to the sea life, both air and in the water? We'll find out because it's just, we've got to say no. You have to say no, because anybody that thinks this is going to save mankind, as Donald Trump said yesterday at the UN, this is all a scam. It is a scam. The only ones that's going to benefit are those who are in business. It's a scam, total scam, and we've got to stop it. And we've got to fight against it because, I have one of my family members. He thinks they're magnificent. He thinks Donald Trump's a drip. But what Donald Trump is saying is true, and people can't handle the truth. So, it's really interesting. WA has got some magnificent coastline. One of those is it's a bay called, and let me get this right, it's called Geographe Bay. Martine Shepherd is a campaign coordinator to save our beloved Geographe Bay. Martine, thanks for joining us. Did I pronounce it right, and whereabouts is it? And tell us how serious the problem is.
Hi, Mike. Thanks so much for having me today. Geographe Bay is the correct pronunciation. So it's about 160, 180 kilometres south of Perth. And that's the start of Geographe Bay. And it's one of the most iconic places on the planet because it's one of the most largest natural bay systems in the world where so many marine species come to be part of an ecosystem that's not only pristine and beautiful and an endless blue horizon, but it is also quite a large nursery for many, many species here because of the kind of vast habitat that we have here. It's a limestone reef system, but we have very unusual sort of mixing here of southern swells and the Lewin Current that comes down from the north, so it brings down beautiful temperate coral reef system as well.
So let's talk about some of the bird life, because they're going to be impacted first of all. It's going to tell us about the sea bird life in the area, because if these windmills go up, they're going to become a slaughter machine, aren't they?
Yeah, look, we know that thousands or millions actually of birds and bats are killed by wind turbines on land. And people say, oh, well, there's no bats out at sea. That's not quite true. And certainly migratory birds that are protected by international treaties. The one that's really, really on point for us is the Tristan albatross, which is right in the middle of the wind turbine zone that they're planning for the Bunbury offshore region. And the Tristan albatross is endangered, and not only that, but its recovery plan is kind of incomplete. And this is where when you look at the bigger picture here of how the government is putting this all forward and trying to fast track this without crossing its T's and dotting its I's. The Tristan albatross has a lot of information that's missing from its migration. And certainly they're going to be absolutely put at risk, as well as many, many other birds that come into the Ramsar wetlands that are right there on shore, where they are completely adjacent to this whole area. And it's many, many Ramsar areas that are included in the Bunbury offshore area.
Now, what's the actual, I think you mentioned it was, 8 or 10 times the area where these windmills are going, 8 or 10 times the size of Singapore. Was that about right or more?
So it's going to be about 4,000 square kilometres. So I think that's bigger than
Whoa.
Singapore.
But 8 times the size of Singapore, I was thinking. No, it's
Probably
actually,
absolutely a lot larger.
it's
Yeah, a lot
terrible.
larger. So yeah, so it started off just under 8,000 square kilometres. And then, of course, that's part of their negotiating tactics and tools that governments and proponents do. And certainly those that are pushing this from the Goa Agreement, which all goes back to Denmark. So Denmark has completely vested interest. Anyone who's going to Denmark for an unbiased opinion or evidence or science that's not going to point all directions that's going to save the planet is definitely wind turbines and offshore wind. The Global Offshore Wind Alliance is how we're stuck in the middle of this nightmare under the climate change hysteria and this net zero garbage. Um, and it's going to look at the moment, there's 3 projects that are planned. There's 2 proponents. At the moment, it's looking about 270 to 280 offshore wind turbines. And all proponents are foreign companies that are owned either by a Portuguese, Spanish, and French alliance. So there's nothing to benefit from for Australians here at all. All we're going to get is all the cons because it's going to cause irreparable damage to habitat, which used to be the most biggest priority when it comes to environmental protection, habitat protection, and the keeping of biodiversity in an area through those measures. So all sustainable practices, all solid ecological practices that we've done for many, many years has all been thrown out the window.
And the actual project or projects had been derailed a couple of times. What was the mitigating factor that got them through it, got them to the stage that we can destroy beautiful parts of WA?
Look, I don't think, let's go through the consultation process, which was an absolute train wreck, and it has been Australia wide. We're part of an Australia wide alliance with all other groups that are pushing back against the offshore areas. So what you would say is that it was a box ticking event, which seems to be the default by this Labor and government that's certainly being promoted internally in all different areas of local government and infiltration of areas where the Greens are really trying to, and the Teals, to say that this is the way we've got to go. So when we're talking about the whole area here, we've got to look at the process that there's 3 stages. It's pre-installation, installation, and operational. And all the concerns that we've had that fall into these different categories of offshore wind turbine installation or putting it forward, have not one has been addressed. More than that, at the moment, these projects are still looking at preliminary licenses, which is making it sound like things are quite precarious over here. And Mr. Bowen and Mr. Albanese and Mr. Watt, all 3, lovely little trio there, they should be very concerned because over here in the Wild West, we are not going to put up with anyone coming in and destroying the thing that we love the most.
I have to say, and I admire the optimism, but I think when government wants to roll over you, and I think we should fight against it, they're going to do everything they can to roll over you. And if you look at the COVID fiasco, when to stop the virus from getting into WA, you couldn't get into it, and it was really interesting that viruses were adherent to the law. We must not go into Western Australia. We'll park ourselves outside the border in South Australia. Of course, that was all rubbish, but they actually had some pretty draconian laws then. And so it shows you if they want to do something to people or to the citizens of WA, the WA government will do it. What about legal options? Because except for maybe taking a chainsaw to these things, although if you're out in the ocean, good luck on that one. But what about the legal options? I mean, can you actually stop this? And surely just thinking off the top of my head, all the habitats that are involved. I mean, I've seen big industry stop because of a rare frog that was living in a pond, and they've stopped these huge developments. So surely someone can put up an argument saying that you're going to destroy this magnificent habitat and blight the horizon with these windmills.
Well, let's look at it from a legal perspective, and if we're talking that way, when it comes to the government's action at stopping farmers from putting in crops and extending paddocks, that's one rule. But when it comes to the government, just so we're aware that the Geographe Bay area where the offshore wind installation is going to go is actually a whale birthing zone. So it's a declared area here that's been peer-reviewed science and research done. And so we have birthing zone here for the humpback whales as well as southern right whales give birth in this area. It's known, and certainly the government hasn't even responded to that, which tells you that there is zero care about protection of any marine species when it comes to the offshore agenda. When it's talking about the other factors here, well, a lot of us learnt and didn't comply in the first place. So we have many, many people working with Save Our Beloved Geographe Bay in the backgrounds, from environmental experts, compliance experts, environmental scientists, researchers. We've got people in legal teams that work with us. So I would say that there are more than one or two arrows in our bucket on our back. And we have certainly fired a few arrows off, but we haven't come to the big guns yet. So what we're looking at doing is actually having a national symposium so people can come and actually educate themselves, one, and make informed decisions, because that's what this government has failed to do, is to give insight and true transparency, which is their default, no transparency whatsoever. So we learnt a lot from the COVID garbage and taking away our rights. So they're dealing with someone who's a very seasoned warrior here, and
Good
I
on,
am one of many.
good on. Actually, and we need to also we need to be vigilant and not to give up. But I always sometimes look at government. They are, we look at the digital ID, look at the e-safety fiasco. Look at all that.
Yeah.
We know it's a Trojan horse, and yet they are still going ahead with it. They're in the UN yesterday, beating their chest, and Ursula von der Leyen, queen of dictators of the entire world, she says, "What a good thing that is, controlling your people. We will be watching you." So what we have is that we have federal government, which is truly, they should be tied to the blades of the windmills, and just for like 30, 40 years, and at least they're put to some use. What about your local member? I think is it Ms. Libby Mettam, who's the deputy leader of the opposition? Is she any good, or is she a bit useless too?
We had a meeting with Libby Mettam at the very beginning of our campaign, and with my marine background going into that meeting, Libby wasn't really aware of what the issues were. I would still say that across the board, I would say Andrew Hastie from WA on the Liberal side is the one that has really taken up the baton. He lives at the top end of where the offshore area is, and he's shown great concern for issues not to do with just recreational fishing, but the impact on our national security. That's his background in military. But certainly Taran Whitten and One Nation are the ones in Western Australia that have taken up the baton and fighting the hardest for us in Parliament, especially in federal Parliament. Taran Whitten has been relentless in his new days and endeavours as a as a senator for Western Australia.
It's really interesting. Can you just give me a timeline? I mean, from say when they will all be, inverted commas, up. Is it like 10 years? I mean, because they have these things they're monstrosities. I mean, just the and not patting that on the back, but the technical knowledge and know-how to install these into the ocean floor in the middle of the ocean. I mean, that itself is quite an achievement, but surely they could have used that for better purposes than destroying the entire planet. So what's the process and the timeline?
So timelines are very fluid, as this government's kind of environmental measures are very fluid. As we see it, there's been, like I said, zero consultation with community and stakeholders, and now the pushback is starting to grow. So in the consultation process, there were a number of investors and proponents in the room bragging how towards the end of 2025, they'll start this whole process off. Well, We haven't seen any yet. The government has just given approval to the University of Western Australia to go ahead with marine studies for this. We're adamantly against this. The University of Western Australia has taken millions of dollars from this federal government as research and development for proponents and in this area. So this is why we do not believe they should even be involved in the process. It should be an unbiased view, and all the data that's looked at and retrieved by what should have been the EPA and the governments themselves should have done all this investigation even before this whole industry was introduced. So we're going to do everything we can to slow this down and destroy Mr. Bowen's green pipe dream.
Yeah, he's an embarrassment. I saw him in New York.
They both are.
Yeah, they are, but I could see him here his elbow trying to be, don't you verbalize me. Anyway, and there's Bowen in the background going, so like a little puppet. Anyway, somebody.
To be honest,
needs
I feel like I'm looking. I think we're dealing with the Three Stooges right now, and we've got Mr. Watts, who's just joined the act, where he's up there spouting the Great Barrier Reef, how great it is that they're protecting the Great Barrier Reef, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that that's alive. Well, Mr. Bowen, we have a whole beautiful reef system here, which is a biodiversity hotspot, and you're prepared to sell it off to the highest bidders of foreign corporations and destroy it for generations that won't get to enjoy it. And that will be his legacy that he's trying to leave. And we're saying, hell no. Like you said previously, bugger off and keep buggering off. That's kind of our attitude here in Western Australia also, because as far as I'm concerned, the hypocrisy of all of this is just too much. And I think that this is what people are really waking up to. People don't take Mr. Albanese seriously anymore. Mr. Bowen, well, he couldn't lie straight in bed. And Mr. Watt, who's out there spouting for one area that this is great to do, but we're going to cause irreparable damage to a linear life limestone reef system that would directly impact the lucrative WA rock lobster industry as well as endangered whales. So I just got to look at these people and think they probably should have had a sanity test before they ran for Parliament.
We talked to some farmers about the interconnector and the turbines, windmills being plonked on their farms, and I said, "What do you do about it?" They said, "Well, we're fighting, but local council's given up and everything." So I suggested maybe 12 gauge. And they, if you're a farmer, you know that 12 gauge is not a railway line. It's the stuff that comes out of a shotgun. And, there was a chuckle, but these farmers, along with the entire Australia, is under attack. And I don't give a rat's. People say, "Oh, you shouldn't be saying that." I don't mean shoot anybody, but if it's your land, it is your land, and and they want to intrude on your land, for example. To save the planet, and at the same time, they're destroying the planet. And then we have at Geographe Bay, you have what is it? You said 4,000 to 8,000. Is it square kilometres or?
Yeah, 4,000 square kilometres, and is an area for the offshore turbine zone.
That's going to be thousands of these wind turbines.
If they get their way.
If they get their way, but it will destroy the habitat, and then also. The health concerns. I mean, the farmers are now realising that these things go they do all sorts of terrible things to your body and your mind. If you've put thousands of these on this pristine part of the world, it's not going to do the humans much good either, except unless you're living in Adelaide and Sydney or wherever you need the power. But the thing is, they are unreliable, as Senator Malcolm Roberts says. They are the unreliables too. So I think we have to stop, just stop, not even think about it. Go back to some, like, what about coal? That works pretty well. Or what about nuclear? I mean, there's something clean. There's nothing been blown up the last since Nagasaki. So we're all fine there. Nothing's happened. But to put these windmills up and to destroy the environment, is just unforgivable, and to even think about doing it shows you they have a lack of appreciation of what is important, and especially important to Australia. If somebody wants to do more and help donate, put their 2 bob's worth in, How do they do that?
Certainly, my heart goes out to farmers as well. We deal with that, especially what's going on in Victoria. They have 12 or 11 licenses already going ahead there for offshore, as well as what's going on with the farmers. So shout out to them because they are in a diabolical situation. When you're trying to reach out to a community in the area that you're from, Save Our Beloved Geographe Bay is a Facebook page that was started almost 2 years ago. And there are many other no offshore wind turbine pages all throughout Australia. So certainly if you just go on Facebook and put in your search up there about offshore wind turbines and against it, you'll find your local area. I'm sure there's so many, and we are united Australia-wide in stopping this. So I know this government thinks governments come and go and politicians come and go, but we live here and we're in for the long haul. So all I can say is, Mr. Bowen, you may as well resign now because we are going to make your life utterly miserable. That is my promise to you.
I love to hear that. You've made my day. Thank you so much. And we also we mustn't forget that the other side too, the conservative side of politics, many times are a mirror of what's happening with Labor. So we can't rest on our laurels either. I mean, One Nation are very good. I've got to tell you, they fight the good fight. But unfortunately, you've got the Conservatives. One of the shadow communications ministers said, government must control the internet. I thought, oh, what are you saying, woman? Anyway, lovely chatting with you. Martine Shepherd, Campaign Coordinator for Save Our Beloved Geographe Bay. Anything we can do for you, you let us know. And that's a heartfelt promise there, because I think we've got to all band together, do our bit, because we only have one country and only one planet. And at the moment, in the quest for, inverted commas, saving the planet, we're destroying it. Got to stop it. This is, by the way, The World Today and the Country Telegraph. Coming up next, this fantastic little doco that I found the other day. It's about this US guy, has his job, has a small acreage, and what he does to make some great returns. And it's a suggestion that maybe we do need to diversify at times. If this inspires anyone to diversify, then fantastic, because we're only here once. And what's happening in the UK, what's happening in Australia is appalling to people on the land. So this is the Country Telegraph and, as I said, The World Today.
I am a farmer.
I'm a grower.
I'm a key worker.
I'm a food producer.
I'm an entrepreneur.
I'm an employer.
I'm a driver of the economy.
I'm a volunteer.
I'm an educator.
Yay!
I'm a student.
I am a grandparent.
I can sleep.
I'm a climate champion.
Services and the health checks that you get over there, ladies and gentlemen, the cancer, all the tests and checks. So if you do want to talk about it, please make your way over to the Allied Services and go from there.
These guys come here monthly and they'll do the tests that a lot of blokes won't go and have, and they can do it in a very short time here when they're socialising after the market or during the market. Yeah, I know a lot of people who would normally not go to the doctor using it.
Probably wouldn't choose to go to a GP just for a checkup as such. It's what the A hospital do here is just bringing health to the farmers. Is I think it's a great idea.
2380 quick data.
So we've partnered with Murrindindi Shire Council to deliver a really unique program to farmers in our local area. Farmers are typically really difficult to engage in looking after themselves, and they called on the hospital to see whether we could actually do something in partnership with them, and hence the Sale Yards program was born.
There's a lot of people out there who've been had cancer where they just didn't get tested, just didn't bother to get tested, and they had no symptoms.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have left it too late. So that's why just trying to get a message out today. Get tested anyway.
Yeah, I think this environment is it's much easier to probably get people across the line and have those conversations than, as I was saying to someone earlier, the sort of white room, white coat thing. It puts people. I wouldn't say puts people off, but it's just a little bit intimidating for a lot of people.
So do you think you'll book in a prostate check?
Yeah.
Today?
Won't happen today, but. Yeah, but certainly it's on my list of jobs to do. So yeah.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been before today?
No.
The farming community generally avoid any kind of medical professionals, and it's not because they don't really like them, it's because they're too busy on the farms. We've tried to include health promotion, intervention, early intervention and treatment as well at the sale yard. So we've had cardiology, we've had audiology, we've had optometry, and we also had just mental health roaming. I just want to know about life on the farm.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Which is what I did, and I got out there and started speaking to people.
And what's the most popular clinic you run?
Oh, definitely the skin. Absolutely, yeah. We've had some amazing results with the skin clinic.
I only went the once, and that was when they had the skin clinic, and I had a lesion on my bottom lip, and I decided it was time to get something else done about it because I'd been to numerous doctors and had different tests done and all come back negative. And the lass out there did a skin scraping and sent it away, and it was a cancer. So I was very fortunate.
The skin check is taken up so well, and I think every farmer you talk to has had the skin check because we've all had sunspots all over us and on our faces, and you come along and they burn them off, and 5 minutes later you're on your way. Farmers always think they're tough guys, and so you might cut yourself, you might have something that probably needs a stitch or two, but you don't go, you wrap it up. And other issues like mental health issues or heart issues or whatever, they put it off and put it off. But here, you come along to the sale, and because it's not only a farmer's place of business where you're buying and selling cattle, it's their social place. It's just a much easier way to be in contact with those health people.
5 years ago, I met a guy named Andrew at a farm-to-table dinner, and today we are at his farm, which he manages all by himself while working 35 hours a week and grossing over 6 figures a year. I see him over there. You're gonna love this tour. Let's go find him.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up?
Snuck up on me there.
I know. What are you up to? Cultivating?
Yeah, just getting the cultivation going.
Dude, this place looks amazing.
Appreciate it.
It really
man.
does.
Thanks.
What is it, like an acre, a little over?
A little over an acre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all you?
All me out of here. 165 50-foot beds.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I still can't believe that you do it all yourself. Like it's bizarre, it's bonkers to me because you look this far and damn, I mean, it keeps on going.
It's out there.
So let's just go right here, talk about classic bed prep and how does it all work?
Yeah, so my standard bed, as you can see here, I stake them out at 30-inch wide.
Which is the market garden standard.
Which is the market garden, 18-inch centers.
Yep.
You know, so it gives us plenty to go down a wheelbarrow with, whatever. And then pretty much everything's super intensive, so nothing ever goes empty.
Lettuce row here.
Classic lettuce row. These are those cut and come agains, you know? Yeah. Just beautiful. This is actually going to be harvested for the market this weekend.
Picture perfect right now.
Yeah.
How are you harvesting these guys by yourself?
All by hand.
So you're just using a knife and just...
One knife, cut and come again. Especially with the head lettuces, I just like to I mean, I could burn through this thing and then they all just cut super clean, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Behind us, we have some overwintered carrots that are starting to explode. Let's see, we put these guys in. These are a little later, so I put these in November.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are littler guys, you know.
Nice shape on this.
Yeah, these are those mochums.
Oops.
So these
snapped.
Yeah, super
you gotta give it that bite
sweet,
test, you
super
know?
sweet. Got the crunch.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
the mochums are really nice, and they're super fast, 55 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like them. And then they, you know, and the thing I like about them too is you could actually harvest them these pencil size. So you know, a lot of carrots, they'll take a lot of time to get the size, and then they'll get funky. And but these,
I feel like a chef might like that, or maybe just a home cook might like it's a different shape.
Exactly.
Kind of
You
nice.
don't have to peel them. You don't have to do anything with them.
So talk to me about the land. Like when you got here, what did you have to do? Because it's been you the whole time, right? No one else.
Me the whole time, yeah.
So you, like when you first came here, you did all these rows.
I started building them all by
Really?
hand.
Okay. So you didn't like expand over the years type thing. You're just like, boom, I'm in.
No, no, I did expand over the year. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So like I did like 20 rows one week, 20 rows the next week, and then second year I started coming down this backside here, and then third year I opened up at 20 more rows in that back.
Wow.
So yeah, year by year I just kind of keep adding little chunks here, trying to really utilize my space here as much as I can.
What'd you do for soil amendments, et cetera, when you started out?
I used a lot of mineral dust in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Composted the crap out of everything because this soil here, not in this particular area, this is pretty good, but more towards the hoops is a really, really drained out rocky area. So I had to really load up compost.
Really? Yeah.
So I used 30 yards roughly every year.
Okay.
Every bed flip, if it gets emptied, gets a whole new compost layer, about an inch layer on there.
Every single time?
Every single time.
Okay.
You know, so it gets composted maybe, you know, twice, 3 times a year.
So is that your biggest input besides perhaps seed, I guess, is compost then, or maybe water?
Water and compost, yeah. And then I use a True Organics pelleted fertilizer as well.
Okay.
Which is a 757, just a nice all-purpose slow release.
Yeah. I want to know like routine, you know, because you're telling me you do it all yourself, which is sort of unbelievable, honestly, even though I know it's true. But not only that, but you're doing it at maybe 35, 40 hours a week.
Yep.
So like
about
less, honestly, less than almost everyone's office job, you know?
For sure.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah, so like these beds right behind you, for instance, had broccoli in it 2 weeks ago. It was overwintered broccoli. You know, I cut them down to the surface, let the roots go in. I laid the compost on, I put tarp on for a week. Boom. After that tarp was on, I undid it, raked it out, and then I literally just direct seeded straight into it, put the tarp white side up. 2 days later, we're here.
Are you starting and transplanting anything, or are you direct sowing everything?
Yeah. So like I direct sow arugula and mesclun, carrots, beets.
Anything you can, right? I would imagine you would prefer to direct sow. Right?
Yeah, I have a small greenhouse at my house.
Okay.
You know, a little 10 by 20.
Yeah.
So I can't, you know, I would love to transplant beets and things like that. I just don't have the space to do it.
Sure.
So I direct seed those things. But things like these tomato starts, I started all these guys, you know, and then I upplanted them, you know, so these are actually from Brad Gates.
Oh, no way.
Up at Wild Boar Farms.
What variety?
Afternoon Delight.
Okay, I haven't grown that one.
The purple. See that purple guy?
Are you doing like a Florida weave on this then? Just a...
No, this is kind of like a, I don't know, the guys in Monterey taught me this little system. I just pretty much tie one end, loop it, and then I'll have 5 different strings, and then I come in, and I just...
You just do, that's interesting.
It's this nice little tie.
You do this little sandwich off right here to keep it nice and taut.
And then these taut.
And then you'll just go up every 6 inches, 8 inches, and you just do another.
Yep.
That's like a bit different, huh?
This is actually an example of a row.
Sure.
That was an old mesclun. I tarped it, composted it. Roots are still decaying in there.
Yeah, so you're not ripping
and then I
out.
stick tomatoes straight back in there. So this stuff's alive. They go pretty quick. You know, if you rub your hands on that, they're just gone.
Yeah.
They're in there, and that's
just back
carbon.
into the soil.
That's carbon.
Totally.
And so that's kind of another, you know, I don't look at it as necessarily a cover cropping system, but it definitely does add.
It kind of is. Yeah.
Because every week they're going straight back into the ground.
You're taking the top 2/3 of plant matter and selling it off, and then the bottom 1/3 you're just letting go and build.
And a lot of time I'll let it do a little growth again, and then I'll drop it and let it sit.
How many seasons have you turned here?
6 or 7 probably,
Oh,
especially
shoot.
with the direct seeded stuff.
Really?
I'm constantly, every single week I seed arugula, salad, and mesclun.
Yeah.
Every single week.
Have you seen your need for inputs go down, like compost go down at all? As
Not
it's improved
yet.
over time?
Not yet. Certain rows, definitely.
Yeah.
But-
yeah. Like the heavier turned rows, perhaps?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
More input on them. But certain areas, like up in that far side,
Yeah.
definitely just gonna have to keep on it. I think eventually, for sure, we'll be able to back off.
You know, if you're a market farmer and you're trying to buy in inputs,
Yep.
obviously you're using SPV soils, but quality-wise, like what are you looking for?
Quality-wise, I always ask the testing of carbon to nitrogen ratio.
Yeah.
So that CN ratio is crucial.
Yeah. Do you care about like an NPK count on it or not really?
No.
Yeah.
No. I do care about the diversity,
Yeah.
you know? So like
Of
this
input?
one, yeah, so like I know SPV uses a lot more manure-based, cow-based. So like probably next year I'll go with the chicken farmer up here and do more of a chicken compost base.
Oh, so you'll switch your supplier based on input if you
Yeah.
can't get it from one place. Yeah.
That and just to create more of that diversity.
Yeah, sure.
You know, instead of just loading in a bunch of phosphorus.
We've been using them for all of our raised bed stuff too.
Yeah.
Like all the in-ground compost in the backyard.
Yeah.
Like my version of this market farm, which is certainly not on the same scale, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
So these are those chandlers I was telling you about. These are
Whoa.
second-year chandlers.
Ooh.
Oops, sorry. But yeah, dude, these things are going crazy. These are chandlers. These were super popular in Monterey. But yeah,
Wow.
these things are just going off, you know?
That's like classic.
Yeah.
Mm.
These are cool. I honestly saved these initially just for myself because I was like, I just love this fine texture, you know, the super sweet.
Nice shape.
Yeah. They don't have great shelf life though. So for a market berry,
It's
not
tough.
too good.
It's tough.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll harvest them Friday, take them to market Saturday, and they're starting to go.
Really? Okay.
So unless you're doing like farm stand straight out
Maybe this is like a U-pick berry then, right?
or a U-pick
Bring 'em
berry,
here? Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, where should we go next?
And then let's see, what we got?
We could talk covers. You got the shade cover over here I want to talk about.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
these guys, it's just the next succession of a lettuce planting that we just kind of went over in that other area.
Are you always shading it in the first like week or so, or?
Anything 75 and above, yeah. I'll go ahead and shade it all out for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Let it establish.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I'll let it uncover. I'll uncover it for a night.
Do you have like a particular shade that you like? This looks like kind of a light
40%.
shade. Yeah.
I did do 30%, but out here in Monterey, out here in Ramona, I think the sun's a little bit more intense up here with the little elevation.
Yeah.
Intense heat.
Yeah, dude, it's gnarly up.
We get hot,
It's
we
hot,
get
it's
cold.
though.
we
Yeah,
get-
that's the thing.
we
It's
get
hot and it's
We get
cold.
cold and we get super windy.
Where I'm at, it's like we're at like 45-ish lows, and maybe we'll touch 100.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sure yours is what you're like 25 to 110 or something like that.
Pretty
right?
much, yeah.
Yeah. When are you using this bed prep method where you're sort of plopping, you know, what, like silage tarp or something on top?
This in particular I'm using because you see that mint?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
That mint was coming in on all the rows, and so I'm using these guys more or less a barrier. So these are gonna kill off that mint right here.
Yep.
And then not go anymore.
What are you gonna throw in these?
I'm trying to get some damn summer squash in here, but with
Spacing
this
looks like a big plant, yeah?
Yeah, we'll have big, you know, every 18 inches or so, and then I got cucumbers popping in here.
Oh, there they are. Yeah.
You know, and they're starting to pop, but earwigs in this time of year are nasty, so we do a lot of replanting. But this stuff's going crazy.
That's popping off.
Yeah. And then I got to clear this out and then put something else there.
Yeah, because this is a bed.
This is a bed.
Right?
It's just
or was for a while.
Exactly. Just overtaken. Then I got some baby eggplants in this going on.
Nice.
And here's going to be, I think, some more lettuce heads. So these
Look
are
at
little gem lettuces back here. So these were all planted on Monday.
So you're just using a very simple, just hoop and shade.
Pretty much hoop and
on
shade
the same
and
irrigation
rocks.
setup. Yeah, nothing.
The trick is you got to get them big enough so the hoops are about 5 feet, so they get nice.
Yeah,
This
so
is a
they
pretty
actually
cool crop.
cover over.
This nice spinach crop coming in.
Yeah, that is nice. You have the variety on this?
That is a regiment.
It's looking good.
So these two beds were experiments that I just kind of pushed. I was using this little section. You can see I shade out early here. And so I was kind of using that as my cue over here. And I'm hoping to push them to end of June.
Yeah, with that tree and that cover right there, feels like it makes sense, huh? It's just one of those like tiny little farmer things that you'd think about, right?
Exactly.
Like, oh, there's that tree.
There's a tree right there. The sun's
Okay,
end.
you know, put something cold love in there.
Totally a farmer thing to think about.
Let's check out down here, man, because this is like almost none of the farm. We've seen.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen a block.
Yeah.
One block of the farm.
How do you keep track of everything? Just all in your head, or you got like journals and notes and stuff?
I got journals.
Yeah.
I got planning journals, things like that. I mean, the direct seeded stuff's so easy that it's every week, so it's all, you know, that stuff I keep out. But I keep on track of all of my broccoli plantings, my pepper plantings, all that, making sure I'm getting adequate amounts.
Yeah. Is this just Salanova here?
Another Salanova.
Yeah.
You know, so
one of the most expensive lettuce seeds out there.
Yeah, it's going
Isn't
crazy.
It still is, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So this is actually a cool one from you. So Vitalis.
Yeah.
Remember that one time you went to Vitalis Seeds, did those one cuts, and I asked you? Boom, there they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these are
way.
easy. These are easy
Okay,
cuts. These aren't the
nice.
Salanovas. So I went with because of the money.
Mm-hmm.
And these are performing just as good.
Seems
have
like the
same
market
texture.
garden crowd made the Salanovas just too expensive, you know?
So insane.
And there's so many varieties coming out every year that there's got to be something, right, that works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you'll find it, and I found them, and they're here. These ones are cool. These are green garlics that we're pulling in.
Oh, you're going green.
Yeah, so this little half row I did green garlics, and then we did some regular onions here. So I just kind of keep mowing it down. And
so you're just going to chop them and sell them for the tops then, yeah.
Yeah, so I just yank them.
Yeah.
I yank them, and we use them for the bases.
This is what I say, like, because my garlic just got hit by rust like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just green garlic. That's why I grew it. You know what I mean? You just make up an excuse.
Yeah, let's cut the top off, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine are starting to burn a bit because they are actually going to start bulbing here in the next month.
Yeah.
So they'll start dying back.
I mean, you can tell there's already starting to go. Starting to separate,
And it smells- Green garlic's my favorite thing. And this variety here, I've saved and I've grown and saved the seed for 7 years now. It came from me with Monterey, and I brought it down, and I've just been slowly adapting it to my climates.
Yeah.
Because it's the only soft neck variety that I found that works down here.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so
what's the variety name?
it's just an early Italian.
Yeah. But
I
now
think,
7 years now, it's sort of your variety.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Now
Yeah.
it's, Indian
Now
Summer
it's
Farms.
Andrew Indian Summer Garlic, yeah.
So it's pretty
wild.
cool.
So you'll just let some grow out completely then, right?
This row, so that garlic row, I'll let it bulb out.
Yeah.
So I have a full one there, and then way back yonder, you see the tops over
Right
there.
over there, yeah.
I have one back there.
So one of those two is your seed garlic for next season. The rest is harvested out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Want to check out a hoop house?
Let's check it out.
Let's do it. You're telling me you're adding one more a year?
Every year we're adding a hoop house. That's my goal. We just added this one here in the corner about a month ago. This whole area is going to be my pepper block.
Yo, look at this broad fork though.
Yeah.
What kind of broad fork is this? Frankenfork?
Yeah, dude. So my father-in-law, he was at a estate sale in Ojai. He lives in Ojai.
Yeah.
And he came by this thing, and the guy was like, "You know what it is?" And he's like, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Since you know what it is, I'll sell it to you for $10."
That's a deal.
So
cheapest broad fork I've ever heard of.
He's I try not to get the tines too far deep because you see how monstrous those things are.
They're huge, dude.
You know, so I go about halfway in and yeah.
Because you're broad forking and that's it, right? You're no till, no disturbance besides that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Broad fork and raking.
Yeah.
So like these I just planted today.
Yeah.
These are the Sakuras. So these are going to be those long cherries. They'll get trellised up on these little wires.
This is where
here.
you're saying you go with a single leader because it's easier to pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let the trusses get nice and
But
taut.
they're spaced kind of close together, no?
Yeah, I do 100 of them right here in the middle at
Yeah.
about 18 inches apart, 18 inches on centers. Pretty tight, but
works.
It works.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you go single leader and trim them down.
Yeah. And
Just take all the suckers off after. Yeah.
Exactly. Every week they get
So
trimmed.
you're good.
Every
Yeah.
single week they get, and these will probably go until about September, October.
And you're selling all this stuff just at farmers markets.
Yeah, just at the Little Italy's Farmers Market right now.
That's it?
Yeah.
Only one?
Only one.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Wait, why not anything up here? Not as much of a market?
Not as much market. I'm building that structure over there. I'm
Yeah.
actually, that one I was talking about, what I was going to sell tomato starts and strawberry starts out of. We're going to be starting the farm stand out here too.
Okay.
So I'll be opening it up probably Wednesday when my daughter goes to daycare, and then
it makes sense.
Start selling it here. Not
Everyone
have
I
go
talk
anywhere.
to with the market farm thing, yours is so interesting to me because you've figured out a way to do it by yourself. So you're not incurring tons of labor costs, which is like almost always what people run into. But you've somehow also figured out how to do it without going 80, 100 hours a week. And just like, that's your life. You live in the soil,
For
which
sure.
is a really interesting blend. So what have you had to give up of like the classic market farmer best practices or whatever? Like, what have you had to not do?
I mean, you can see out here, I keep things a little wild.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I like that kind of stand. I don't keep it super tip top tight.
Yeah.
You know, I do let things go a little bit. If there's areas I know I'm gonna tarp, it's gonna let them go. And I think that type of stuff is,
you're doing it something if it's necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah,
only
not if
necessities,
not if it, it looks good or whatever. Not that it doesn't look good, to be clear, but just, you do see those market farms where it's like
pristine.
There's nothing. There's nothing.
There's no weeds, but I actually like some weeds, because it's rooted in the ground. That's my whole motto is I want things covered. I want roots in the ground. I don't, out here in this kind of arid climate, if it's too empty, it gets dusty, it gets hot, it gets, so I kind of want some greenery,
It's kind of interesting, the idea of just letting the natural weeds creep through the pathways. Because otherwise, because you're going to trample them, they'll break down, they'll die, whatever. So it's kind of nice, right?
Exactly. And, with something like these, you just kind of
just give it that little
touch. Give it a little dust and they'll be toast.
Yeah.
After that.
Especially in this heat, man.
So we planted some peppers in here today. These are little habaneros on the side. And then of course some lacinados. Yeah, I actually have starts going right now. I'm planting kale, chard, any of my like pole and bundle greens. I plant those every 3 to 4 months. Just regardless. Just to keep a fresh batch going, keep it nice and strong.
Yeah.
And then if an old batch does keep rocking and rolling,
just let it rip.
Let it rip.
Yeah,
keep pulling. Keep harvesting. Boom. It's kind of that little insurance policy, as you know, just successioning everything.
Why not? I guess.
And that's what the whole thing was. Is like
get this lettuce here, kind of.
Yeah, this is gonna get all mowed out. So this was an example of frost damage. So these were all lacinados, and this whole back area was planted with broccoli and lacinado.
Yeah.
And with that frost that came through here 2 weeks ago, they smothered them. The coldest night, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna cover them. It's they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Of course. One night I don't cover.
So how did you start? You just look at this today and you're like, okay, this guy's on another level, obviously it didn't start out that way.
Yeah. I mean, the first years, you just start super small, super tight, do what you can do managing. I worked a full-time night job on top of that. So I came out here during the day, worked night, made ends meets that way.
Do you have to put like a down payment on a lease or take out any loans or anything like that? Or?
No loans. I don't do any loans. I don't want to put any pressure on me in terms of that way. Everything was, if I didn't have the cash, I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Of course I could have all the fancy tools and this and that, but I just found what I needed and I went with it. And so I just kind of stay super, super low cost, keep my cost of production as low as I can so I can sell things as, most profitable as you can.
Good point. Yeah, because you can price it however you want. Obviously the market bears what it bears, but are you able to be more competitive, I guess?
Exactly, and have the margins a little bit tighter. And the other thing is like these hoop houses, couldn't go out and buy them all at one time.
Sure.
So every year I just keep adding.
Yeah.
This year I plan on adding an irrigation system. Every year I try to add an upgrade that's going to take me to do less.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It reminds me when I used to be addicted to SimCity or something like that. Like every year you get enough in the budget, you upgrade the roads, you upgrade the plumbing,
exactly.
Whatever.
What seems to be the next necessity.
Yeah, totally.
And
so irrigation's next, you're saying, huh?
Yeah, irrigation's next. I spent a lot of time flipping the little dials. So that's my next thing is I want to automate it completely. And that way I could just leave for a couple of days.
Yeah, and that'd be nice. Yeah. Dude, well, thanks for showing it to us.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got to come up here. Super inspiring, especially if you're watching, no debt, 30, 40 hours a week.
Yep.
Six-figure business. Living out here, just chilling. Not chilling, sorry. Not chilling. Right now we're chilling.
Right now we're chilling.
I did not catch you on a chill day earlier today, but dude, it's awesome.
It's
really
gratifying.
Cool.
I mean, if I could encourage anybody to do it, I would. We need more small farms like this to do it,
Thanks for having us, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, Kevin.
Yeah, of course. Indian Summer Farm guys, good luck in the garden and keep on growing.